I'm doing a presentation over diabetes and how it affects the body. Our objectives today are to know what diabetes is, the different types of diabetes, how to know how the diabetes affects the body, ways, risk factors, and ways to prevent diabetes. This is a world map of diabetes across the world. As of 2015, there are 415 million people with diabetes across the whole world. A projected rate of 2040 is 642 million, quite a bit. So what is diabetes? Diabetes is when the body becomes insulin resistant. We describe it as a keyhole effect. You have the insulin, that's a key. The cell is the lock. When the insulin and the cell travel down the bloodstream, the insulin finds the right keyhole, opens the cell, and then lets the blood glucose into the cell, and then it travels throughout the body, giving the body energy. If the insulin and the cell don't match, then the insulin builds up, the blood glucose builds up, and then you become diabetic. According to this article of Neuropathy and Diabetes, it asks you to check your feet and legs daily for calluses, blisters, cuts. It wants you to moisturize your feet daily so they don't become dry, and then proper fitting shoes. No tight fitting shoes or narrow-toed shoes. The different types of diabetes, you have type 1 diabetes, that's the juvenile diabetes. It's when you're diagnosed at a younger age, usually under the age of 18 or 20. And then you have type 2 diabetes, which is the adult diabetes. You're diagnosed over the age of 20 or later on in life. Then you have gestational diabetes, which is when you're pregnant, you have a baby, when you're pregnant and you become diabetic during pregnancy. That's a risk factor for women. When later on in life after you have the baby, you can have a higher risk of becoming diabetic. So how does diabetes affect the body? Well, according to an article of Diabetes Complications, it can affect it in different ways. It also, when your diabetes is uncontrolled, it can decrease your health. You can have possible loss of limbs, legs, arms, and you can actually die from diabetes. According to a study in 2016, the silent diabetic cardiomyopathy, the different ways can be internal or external. Internally, you can develop heart failure, and then the veins in the body can bleed inside, and also you can have retinopathy, which is bleeding behind the eyes. Externally, the cuts and the wounds on the outside don't heal properly due to poor circulation. And then you can have the loss of limbs due to the circulation problems. The risk factors, being overweight, it's recommended that you lose about 7% of your body weight, which is about 15 to 20 pounds, and you want to lose that at a slow rate, not all at once. Increased blood glucose levels. They diagnose diabetes off of fasting blood glucose over a period of time. So if every time you come in and your blood work is fasting and you're over 126, over a period of time they'll diagnose you with the diabetes. Poor diet intake, so a high carb diet or a sugar diet with candies and sweets. High blood pressure. Physical inactivity, so it recommends that you walk at least 30 minutes a day. And then smoking. Diabetes prevention, a healthy weight loss, as previously mentioned, about 15 to 20 pounds. In this study in 2016, the Neighborhood Walkability and Daily Steps of Adults, it is recommended that exercise is good for decreasing blood pressure and increasing blood flows, that circulation. And then another study in 2016, the International Weight Loss and Longevity, people who obtain weight loss at a younger age are prevent from having diabetes later on in life. And then a low carb diet for prevention, or if you're already diabetic, maintenance. This is a map of diabetes across the United States. Notice the red states, those are the highest population for at risk for developing diabetes. Mississippi right now, as of 2015, is the highest right now. So today we talked about what is diabetes. It's a worldwide disease. You want to manage your blood sugars effectively. It can affect you internally, externally, And then daily exercise and diet control.